A while ago, I created a free Amazon Book Ads course and quickly put it on Thinkific as my course creation service. However, a bit later, I saw Mark Dawson's self-publishing formula course hosted on Teachable and thought, ooh, maybe I made a mistake. And considering that my subscription is about to run out with Thinkific, it was the right time to put a little bit more investigating into it and figure out which one is the best course builder, Thinkific or Teachable. And to do that best, I decided to get a subscription to both. That way I put the same course on each and we can get a side-by-side look at how that looks between the two. Ultimately, this is going to take the guesswork out of it so that you can get a clear picture and figure out which one is the best. And yes, there clearly is a winner in this one. But before we get into that, if you'd like to learn more about this sort of thing and find out when my next video comes out, be sure to click the little subscription button and the little bell icon to the right. And with that, let's begin. Okay, let's get started by looking at some of the major things that you should consider when looking at a course builder. And that is pricing, the course player look, the sales page, how easy it is to build the course, and email integration. Let's start with pricing. Thinkific and Teachable both offer 4 different packages that range from free to premium. Each package level between Thinkific and Teachable are pretty much the same as the other, and they pretty much have the same capabilities in them, except for some hidden aspects that are very important. All right, let's start with the free packages. With Teachable's free package, you can only have 10 students. However, with Thinkific, you get unlimited. Teachable does allow you unlimited courses, while Thinkific only allows 3. But I don't really think that's a big of a deal. I mean, after all, if you have more than 3 courses, you probably should be using the basic package anyways, which allows for unlimited courses. And finally, Teachable has an extra processing fee of $1 plus 10% for every sale, while Thinkific does not. Let's break that down. Say, for example, your course costs $100 and you sell 10 of them. Because of Teachable's processing fee, you would lose $110 and only make a total of $890. While with Thinkific, you profit the entire $1,000. Now, let's look at the basic package, which is probably the package that is best for a majority of you guys watching. At first glance, it would appear as though Teachable takes the cake on this one, being that its basic package is $10 a month cheaper. But Teachable also still charges a $1 plus 5% transaction fee, while Thinkific still doesn't charge any transaction fee. Big difference, especially if you want to sell courses or in my case, give away a free course. And finally, the other major difference in packages is that the professional and enterprise level, Teachable offers more super advanced stuff in addition to what Thinkific does. However, Thinkific offers something called a growth package that you could purchase on top of your package and get those same additions. And when I say advanced, we're talking things like public API, webhooks, Brilliant exams, and advanced segmentation. This isn't really a big deal for me because in truth, I really don't plan to do or use any of those things, nor do I have the people or the team to be able to implement that. So I'm gonna give my point to Thinkific on this one, unless you're like some uber awesome course maker and you're looking to pay $500 a month anyways for a service. Then maybe you want to look at Teachable. Next, let's look at the course player. This is basically what your students are going to see when they take your course. Now, like I said in the beginning of this video, I started by looking at somebody else's course on Teachable and thought, oh man, maybe I made a mistake. At that time, this is what my course looked like on Thinkific as compared to Teachable. I mean, talk about a big difference, right? It's blasé, no branding, nada. But while I was putting together this review, Thinkific came up with a new look for their player and it looks way better. As you can see, they're pretty similar now. However, what I like most about Thinkific is that I can put my logo at the top, use my brand colors, and keep my branding strong. You can sort of do that with Teachable, but not as well. Also, I love the new navigation side of Thinkific with the courses connected like that. So I'm gonna give a point to Thinkific for this. Not just because of the logo or the navigation side, but also the fact that they continue to improve and add on as they go. So onward and upward. All right, next is the sales page and checkout process. When it comes to the sales pages, Thinkific is much easier to build considering they have some great niche or business sector templates to quickly employ, and you can do some customization through CSS and a bit of HTML. However, Teachable has a lot more advanced features you can unlock. With it, you can use HTML coding to design your pages however you want. Basically, a bit more flexibility. Now, while I'm not much of an HTML coder and couldn't personally use that aspect of it, which is why my landing page doesn't look as good with Teachable, but I can see how important it might be to do that, especially if you want a legit looking page. And Teachable also offers a free masterclass on building course pages. All right, let's go ahead and look at the payment processing aspect for how customers see as they go through to purchasing your course. With Teachable, it's a pretty sharp checkout process that is one step. Whereas with Thinkific, it isn't as sharp and requires 2 steps for the customers to purchase. So for the sales page and the checkout process, I'm going to give 1 point to Teachable. All right, let's go ahead and check out the course creation process. The truth is, they're pretty similar to each other. They both have a drag and drop capability and they're both very intuitive. There are, however, 2 things I'd like to bring up that is a bit of a difference for each. First, Thinkific has some great surveys that you can employ to help improve your course over time, which is nice and also really important, especially if it's a higher priced course. And I also prefer their video library because I can re-access previously uploaded videos. This is something that I didn't think as really important when I first started using it, but over time, yeah, I've come to love it. So therefore, I give Thinkific a point. Next is email integration. This is the process of connecting your email service to the course builder service. That way, when somebody purchases, that email will get ported right over and you can have it. With Teachable, you only get ConvertKit and MailChimp. Whereas with Thinkific, you get ConvertKit, MailChimp, Aweber, ActiveCampaign, Constant Contact, and Infusionsoft. Now, technically, if you don't see your email service provider in either of those lists, that's still not a problem. You can use a third-party software called Zapier, which will grab the email from one and bring it over to your email service. The only problem with this is sometimes that rings up an extra bill, and in most cases, it's going to be $25 a month. So, because Thinkific has way more email integrations and therefore less of a chance of you having to pay $25 extra a month, this point goes to Thinkific. Okay, so far, Thinkific's winning 4-1 in the major categories, but let's go ahead and look at some of the minor features that, while they aren't features that I personally use or think are that important, I know a lot of people who think they can be crucial, especially for their courses. So let's go ahead and list some of the major differences there and see what happens. The first is quizzes. With Teachable, you can create simple multiple choice questions and only give a right or wrong answer indication. But with Thinkific, you can have questions and answers via text, images, or video, plus some other advanced quiz features. So mini point to Thinkific. Next is course reporting. Teachable is way better at providing more in-depth reporting on quizzes, student activities, demographics, and video engagement. So mini point to Teachable. Next is surveys. This is something I should definitely do more, but haven't. And Thinkific has them, while Teachable, not so much. So mini point to Thinkific. And now, mobile accessibility. Both websites are mobile friendly, so your students can access it through their phone. However, Teachable actually made a mobile iOS app that makes it kind of cooler, easier, and also allows them to comment and interact with. So, 1 mini point to Teachable. All right, so let's look at the final scoreboard. Obviously, Thinkific has won this round. The truth is, for my purposes, I'm a big fan of their free and basic plan, which I believe is also the plan that is going to be best for the majority of you guys watching. With those, it will save you money, and yet it still provides enough for you to create great courses and get it out to your people. The course player also looks way better now that they did those improvements, so that totally tipped the scales for me. And also, I love that they have the email integration because I didn't used to have that ability and I had to pay an extra $25 to Zapier just to be able to get the emails of those who signed up for my free course. And yeah, that kind of stunk. As for the sales page, well, I'm not as much of an advanced HTMLer and I don't have the programmers or anything to really turn it into something special, but it is something to consider. I still think I can get a great looking sales page with Thinkific, so I'm not too worried about that. So in the end, I'm definitely going to be re-upping my subscription with Thinkific and continue to move forward with more courses coming out. And if you would like to read more about this review and get into some of the weeds, be sure to check my full-blown written review below where you can find the link. And with that, I'm Dave Jessen of Kindlepreneur, signing off. Cheers.